Hello, hello, hello. This is Angie, your self-care strategist, queen of self-care herself. How are you? I hope all is well with you today. I want to talk to you today about this thing called overperformance. I was reminded of a time where I was feeling overwhelmed and overworked, but I felt this obligation or this need, if you will, to put my stuff on the back burner to go to help serve someone else and meet their needs, if you know what I'm saying. As a caregiver, providing care for people, as an entrepreneur, having a business, actually two businesses where most of them incorporate some type of serving as well, that's what a business that is a service, that's what we do. We serve our clients. And but many times, if you have always grown up with this overwhelming ability and overwhelming feeling to serve others, especially those that are less fortunate. And sometimes I used to get caught up in that, and which I defined, and it is called overserving. Sometimes you can overserve. You can cross those boundaries and you're into something else. And I realized that a lot of times it came out of my personal satisfaction that I got from helping others to succeed, because that has always been my mantra in life, is to help others to succeed. It didn't even matter about me personally. I just wanted to help other people be their best. And years of doing that, over-serving, okay, led to being overworked, which has led to being overwhelmed, which leads to anybody to burnout. So back to the story that I was remembering. So here I am in a rush, putting my personal stuff on the back burner to serve someone else, and then check the box off, and then I can go back to doing my thing, right? That's where that overperformance is, because I spend all of my energy, the best part of my day, serving others, and then whatever is left was left for me to serve myself and to do things that I needed to do. So one time I remember speaking with a person, and this person, of course, doesn't know all the drama that I have in my life. They just want what they want, And sometimes when you're serving others and you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, being generous with your time and your talents, and people don't realize that. People just want what they want, right? Whether they're paying for it or not. They just kind of, feel like they are entitled. They're entitled to be able to call you and you stop and drop everything that you're doing and take care of them. It's like their issue becomes your emergency. And people get accustomed or used to that. I wanted to say addicted to it, because they don't think anything about your working 24/7, like I said earlier, like you're a 24/7 convenience store that you're open and you're obligated to be there for them. But that was because I didn't set clear boundaries. So I'm just remembering that today. But back to the story again, because I'm just reminded as I was working with someone how this same person had called, right? And I was in the middle of doing something, wanted to take care of some things before I went to do the charity work for this individual, right? And so they were able to put the phone down, but they didn't hang it up. So I heard exactly how that person felt about me and how they expressed themselves toward the things that I was doing, free of charge, mind you, at the sacrifice of my own well-being and my own things that I needed to be doing. In other words, I could have been working or on the clock, as you will, or doing something that generated money or satisfaction for me, but I chose to do the good thing and do charity and serve that person, to my detriment, right? And then to hear them on the phone talking to another individual about me and what I was doing for them and how disappointed they were, And I'd like to tell you that I just listened and didn't say anything. But sis, it wasn't like that at all. So at some point I interrupted the conversation and I said, hey, I hear you and thank you for letting me know how you really feel about me, and I said, you won't have to deal with that anymore because I'm not going to do that. So whenever you need this particular thing, then you find someone else to do that, okay? Because now I know that you don't appreciate and that this is causing you some trouble, some pain. And I didn't say it that eloquently now. Don't even think that. I wasn't too ugly, but I was very very blunt, very truthful, and very serious that was not going to happen like that again. Now I continued to help that person, but I set clear boundaries that day of what was going to happen and what was not going to happen. So I'm saying all that to say, I'm just remembering that from a conversation that I had earlier, how important it is to check yourself and make sure that you have clear boundaries. Even just because you can do something for someone doesn't mean that you need to do that. Because sometimes people can do things for themselves, but they will allow you to overserve and over-deliver and overperform, okay? They would allow you to do that. You will wear yourself out helping other people, and in your mind, you're thinking you're helping them, and in their mind, they're just getting some free labor, stuff that they could do for themselves, but because you want to do it, they'll just let you do it. So I have learned to set boundaries, and I'm only going to do what I'm going to do. And I said what I said. And sometimes I think about it, I'm like, well, I guess I could do that. I have a heart, I have a conscience, I am a Christian. And sometimes people will use that. They will use that. When you're a Christian, if you was a real Christian, okay, I've heard that too. When you set boundaries, be ready to hear some of those things as well. Because people will remind you of what it means to be a good Christian or a good person. They'll remind you, but they need to remind themselves. But I am not moved by that conversation anymore. If they feel like they can put me in my place because I did not go out of my way to overserve them and protect my own peace, baby, let them ride. Okay? I'm letting it ride. Because if I don't protect my own peace, nobody else will. And I have found by doing that, people will honor your time. They will honor your talents. You see, when you have gifts and you are, and I'm a professional problem solver. All of my life, I've been a professional problem solver. And I've always enjoyed helping people. And every degree, every gift that I have, all of my talents, I've always kind of just minimized them as gifts and given them freely, But it has come to my detriment. And I want you, sis, to think about what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. So sometimes I still have to check my motivation because I feel sorry for people sometimes. But that's not helpful. Feeling sorry for people doesn't always help them. So, my take on things now is a lot different. First of all, I'm going to preserve my peace. I'm only going to do what I feel like I need to do and not what I want to do. Okay? Because I want to save the world. I want everything to go a certain way. I want to be that catalyst of change for everybody. But I understand that that's not it. People are going to do what people want to do. And just understanding that gives me a different perspective. I hope that you also will embrace a different perspective so that you can hold and keep your peace. As caregivers and entrepreneurs and other, professions where you solve problems, medical staff, medical doctors, nurses, professional counselors especially. I know, I'm in that community as well. And that's what we do. We solve problems, and many of us are very good at it. Even though we may have problems of our own, we need our own professional therapists to help us work through some of these things. And that's what this channel has been about. When we talk about self-care, I always tell you, it's not about a bubble bath and a massage, baby. It's not about those pedicures and getting all of these other external things done. It's working on the inside. It's about getting your peace. I had many massages and many bubble baths and many pedicures. And sometimes I get out of that chair in that situation and I go right back into the same stressful environment. You have to learn how to understand how your body works, how your mind and your psyche really works, and connecting all the pieces together so that first and foremost you preserve your peace. When we're flying, every time we fly, they tell us, you put on your mask first. Don't try to help somebody put on their mask. And so I want to use that analogy as well. You got to take care of yourself, right? And setting great boundaries and refining those boundaries. Because I thought I had great boundaries, and then I had to go back and I had to up it, right? I had to redefine it, right? Different times in my life, boundaries looked a certain way. Now they look another way because I have different responsibilities. And so that's what this channel is all about, helping you understand boundaries and how to use and utilize boundaries so that you continue to protect your peace. Okay? So in our community, in our classes that we have for you, this is what we do. We talk about it, we explain it, and then your one-on-one sessions with me, I help you develop those strategies that are specific to you. Because just like I said, at different times in your life, things work. Sometimes people can look at a video such as this and figure things out. But many times you need some one-on-one time with a professional to help you figure out where you're not getting all that you need as far as setting great boundaries. Setting boundaries is something that we look at and we think, okay, that's easy. Okay, but really, if you think about it, it's really not. It's really hard. I work with women who have a great difficulty setting boundaries with their adult children. Yeah. And so this thing called tough love comes into play. But I have a proprietary system where I help you figure these things out and figure out what works for you. Because everybody, every woman is different. And the things and how I do it may not work exactly that way for you, but in our one-on-one sessions, we tailor and we tweak those things based upon your temperament and your personality and how this thing can work for you. But the most important thing is set boundaries and understand that boundaries protect your peace. If this video has been helpful for you, I need you to, number one, like and subscribe to this channel. And if this video has been helpful for you, then leave me a comment and let me know what other types of videos and things that would be helpful for you. Because I know the things that I've experienced in life and the women that I've already talked to and that are in our community as well, over the years. I've been doing this for over, I don't want to say the exact years, okay, but it's been over 20, y'all. And I've helped a lot of women get to a different place in their lives. From ministers, ministers' wives, lay ministers, professional counselors, other professional counselors, nurses, doctors. We all have problems setting clear and keeping boundaries. And it really doesn't matter what profession you're in. You know, we have a community of like-minded professional women as well as just like-minded individuals. We learn from each other. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you got it all together as far as setting clear boundaries. So, you know, we learn from each other in our community. But I encourage you to check out the link below after you subscribe, and leave me a comment, and that way you'll get notified of all the videos. But also consider the one-on-ones so that I can help you figure out what's going to work for you as far as preserving your peace. All right, sis, that's it. That's all I got today. Love you. All right, we'll see you on the next video.